Well, that was an absolute kick in the fucking crotch if I ever saw one. 23-20 is your final. The Kansas City Chiefs improve to 3-1. The New York Jets fall to 1-3 on an absolutely a fucking abysmal holding call against Sauce Gardner. Are you kidding me? That was it. That was the game. A phantom holding call negates an interception at the end of the game. The Jets did everything they could have done possibly right in this game. They held Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to 23 points, and they still somehow lost this fucking game. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Credit to Zach Wilson, proving so many of us wrong. 28 of 39, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 105.2 rating. Zach Wilson played his best fucking game as a pro, and they lost. They lost. And it wasn't because of Zach Wilson. Again, Zach Wilson went out there, and I will tell you what it is. I will no bias, no bullshit, no baloney, no nothing. Zach Wilson played his best game as a pro, and they lost 23-20 on a phantom holding call against Sauce Gardner at the end of the game that negated an interception. Jets would have had the ball. They would have had a chance to go down the field and score. Taken away. Just flat out, absolutely freaking taken away. I don't know. What else is there to possibly say? I have notes on this whole game. Was it frustrating to go down 17-0? Yes. That stinks to go down 17-0. It does, but that was not unexpected. But you turn over Patrick Mahomes twice. It should have been 3 effing times in this game, and that's it. Nathaniel Hackett, game of his life as a New York Jets offensive coordinator. Nathaniel Hackett was fucking great in this game. He was great. Legitimately fantastic. He put Zach in a really good situation. Again, Zach Wilson had the game of his life in this game, and they still somehow lost. I'm going to drop the link if you want to join the show in the chat. Normally I don't do it like this, but as I mentioned in the pregame show, a little bit different. A little bit of a different one today. I don't know what to say. Normally I come on here, I give you a whole breakdown of an entire game, drive by drive, and I can't go drive by drive in this game. Too many opportunities left on the field, whether it be a phantom call, Tyler Conklin drops a ball in the end zone, Michael Carter drop pass on third down, just, Zach Wilson fumble to give the Kansas City Chiefs great field position. That's it. It's just unbelievably frustrating. Absolutely unbelievably frustrating. I have a few guys in here. We can get to some of the calls. We'll go to Jets Unleashed first.
Hey man, dude, it was a great game all around, man. I expected us to get blown out. So for us to even be in this game and get us a chance to win, they played great, man. They played a great game, man. Again, we had some opportunities we left. Zach's fumble, Tyler Copeland dropped, and then the overpass to Garrett Wilson. We left points on the field, man, and it costs us. And yeah, there's some penalty that it killed us, but you know what? They helped us in the first half, so it balances out. But you know what? Hopefully, this can move on to the future of the season. Hopefully, this is a momentum game so that the rest of the season can be like this, and hopefully, we can win a bunch of more games.
I hope so, because that is an absolute gut punch to play Kansas City that tight and lose only by 3 points and have Zach Wilson go out there 28 of 39 for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you still somehow lose that game. Just unbelievably frustrating stuff.
Why, man, dude? It is frustrating, dude. That this is probably, like you said, this is Zach's best game. I do agree with that, dude. But again, we just left too many points on the. But again, hopefully, this is a multi point for us to go in the future, and now we can compete with anyone. This is my hope for the future.
I hope you're right. Thank you for the call, Jets Unleashed. I appreciate it.
Go Jets. Let's go.
Go Jets. Love it. Let's go out to John is up next. Let's go to John. John, how's it going, man?
I just want to say Zach did play well, but that fumble snap was a killer.
Yep. You're right. There's no lie.
I mean, I say what you want to say, but that fumble snap really hurt us. And another thing that you brought up earlier, the referees. What are we going to do about the referees? The referees were horrible.
Unreal.
I mean,
just absolutely unreal.
It was terrible. But we'll see what happens. We're playing Denver next week, and hopefully we can come back there and win and see what happens. Maybe the season will be something. I don't know. We'll see.
I hope so, John. I really do. That's a tough one to swallow.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Let's go. We got a super chat. We'll go right back to the calls after that. But that holding call was BS. You got to let him play. You got to let him play in that spot. That's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Frustrating. Let's go to Doug. Doug.
I apologize for the cursing I'm about to do, but that's fucking bullshit. Jermaine Johnson gets held for, 15 years, and they don't call it. Like, Jawan Taylor was holding on to him for, I think, 10 lifetimes. I don't know. And then that bullshit, he threw it after got the pick. I'm not a guy who wants to be like, oh, blame the refs. But when it's just so blatantly, like, why? Like, it's so annoying. Like, when the refs think it's all like Will Parkinson and he's not being shooting about it. Like, the refs make it about them. We're not watching the football to make refs make great, super important calls at the end of the games. We want the game to be decided in between the numbers between the two teams. Yes, the fumble sucks, but like to blame, and I love that Zach was saying it's my fault, taking responsibility, like that's huge steps, but it wasn't his fault. Like, yes, that's a killer. It sucks, but the refs absolutely bent us over and fucked us is the only way to really say it. And it's really frustrating because they played great. And like, I would have rather them lost on like a failed 2-minute drive than that.
Yeah. And after the game, Robert Saleh quote on Zach Wilson, if he plays like that, we're going to win a lot of football games. That was probably Zach Wilson's best game as a pro.
Next week, we got to go and kill Denver. Just kill him.
You have to. It was embarrassing that Chicago let them back in that game and somehow to win that game. But I just, again, not that I was expecting them to win against Kansas City necessarily, but when you're in that game and when you're in that moment, it's a tough one to swallow.
But if Hackett's going to go into next week wanting to like show up the Broncos. So, and the team's going to want to do it. If we blow them, kill them, you get some momentum. The Eagles, while they are 4-0, they haven't looked like the same Eagles as last year. I'm not saying you win, but like, get to 2-4 at least. And then like, again, the Giants aren't good. It's so frustrating when you play so well and that's the way a game ends for you.
It's unbelievable. Doug, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, man. All right, let's go out to Matthew next. Matthew, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
So I have two takeaways. I have two.
Okay.
Every time Dalvin Cook touches the football, it is a wasted snap.
He stinks.
It's a wasted play.
You're right.
I'd rather have Michael Carter. I'd rather have Bam Knight, to be quite frank. Like, bring Bam Knight back.
You're preaching to the choir on that one, by the way. But
and my second takeaway is, you know what? As much as I harp on this kid, every week I harp on this kid. I say he's not good enough. We need a new QB. And I talk trash about this dude all game. That kid's got balls of steel. Every fan in the fan base hates him. The coaches want to off him. The locker room has tension. I mean, I don't know. We don't know as fans, but you can imagine. And the kid still goes and plays his heart out. So, you know what, Zach Wilson? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you got to give Zach Wilson a ton of credit, and that's a great call out, Matthew. I appreciate the call in on that one. I just think that with Zach, it's hard to ask for 28 of 39. That's what completion percentage wise. Let's do quick math on that. 28 of 39 is a 71.8% completion percentage, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to possibly say. None of us thought Zach Wilson was going to have that kind of a performance against the Chiefs defense that coming into this game was playing lights out. They're playing lights out, and he went out there and balled. Let's go out to Liam up next. Liam, what's going on, man?
What's up, Matt? So basically, what I was seeing and what was scaring me a lot was I'm seeing Zach do great. Okay, it's reminding me a lot of this Tampa Bay game where he does amazing. We're all excited, but what happens? You know, I'm ecstatic about him doing great, but as we're losing, I'm just thinking, what happens the next 3 to 4 games? Are we going to keep saying, "Oh, well, Zach improved. He's been great now"? Like, are we just going to keep him? Like, I was hoping maybe he would do okay and we'd bring in Trevor and like see some more progress, but I'm just worried that we're just going to revert back to last week's offense.
Yeah, it's really tough to say, right? Like, I don't know. After that, most people were hoping for a Trevor Siemian start against the Denver Broncos, but I don't think we're seeing that switch now. He played too well. They're not gonna go a different direction now. I don't see it.
So if he comes out and like, I'm sorry, but shits the bed here, 2-3 games in a row, we're going to have all these Zach fans saying, "Oh, look at him last game. Look at him against the Chiefs." Like, I'm sorry, but fuck that, like we have a great team. We left so much out there. Like you said before, like we got to cover this, like, and I love Sauce so much, but I just feel like, 2 games now where it's like, come on, like that last one was a pick. The other one should have been a pick 6 to the Cowboys. I hate to be that guy, but come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know if that one's on Sauce though. I think they got to let that one go. I don't think that was a
really. Well, honestly, that makes me feel a lot better. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm looking at that. I'm like, you're under the shoulder pads. I'm like, please. I'm like, come on, Sauce. But they've been waiting this whole season to call something on, because last year everybody's saying, "Oh, PI." But it's bullshit. Now the refs are staring at him under a microscope. Like, let them fucking play. Like, another Michael Carter pick comes back. I can't stand it.
It's unbelievable. Liam, thank you so much for calling in, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's frustrating one. Let's go out to Johnny. Johnny's up next. What's up, Johnny?
Matt, what's going on, dude? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. This fucking stinks, Johnny.
I know, bro. Hey, but look, man, I have to say that everybody blaming our defense needs to stop. Our defense held them to 3 points, the Super Bowl champions at the end of it. We got some bull crap calls called on us, right? This could be possibly the switching of the season for us. And then moving forward, it was one of those big morale boosts that we needed, that we are capable of playing against anybody. Next week, we go into Denver. We take care of business. We go against the Eagles, because the Eagles do not look like what everybody's making them out to be anymore. They haven't played anybody yet like that, we could say, "Oh, that's a team to go ahead and beat," right? Same thing goes with the Dolphins. The Dolphins show their face today. Man, we have the second half of the season, and we can make noise and make a huge run. Why not? I still believe in this team. If anything, man, this game right here gave me belief again to be like, okay, this team can do it. That defense rallied around the offense. The offense rallied around the defense. Special teams played great. Like I kept saying, dude, Morstead is the guy that's really holding us in.
He was great.
Keeping them all the way out there by the 10th yard line on their side of the ball, man. I mean, Matt, this was, it was a tough loss for us, but we had people talking about 42-0. On the beginning of the show, all the announcers had us losing by how many points and stuff like that. And this is a kind of a big middle finger to the whole NFL that the Jets are here. We're going to make noise, and it's, I mean, I see it all over your face, dude. I feel you, man. I'm on the same boat. Me and my wife are here out there. Like, we can't go to sleep right now because the adrenaline is pumping so much from that game. But hey, man, JETS, dudes.
Thank you. Thank you for the positivity, Johnny. That's much appreciated in this spot. It's much needed after that one, I think.
Yeah, man, dude. And we're going to be fine, man. We got Denver. We should destroy them like 100-0, which would be amazing, right? Break all kinds of records. No, I
love it.
Hey, man, keep your head up, bro. We got this. It was a good game, man. It is what it is right now.
Appreciate your call, Johnny, as always. All right, let's go. Chris in Florida is up next. Chris, all right, let's get him up here. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on, Matt Leary? It's good to finally be on your channel, man. Dang, what a way to go out. I gotta be honest with you, man. I was praying to God, expecting, of course, the beginning to not really win the game, but I begged so much, like, don't let it be a blowout. I anything I've said bad about Zach Wilson being like he might be done for the year. The kid really wanted to show he deserves a job one day in the future, deserves to play. I keep telling myself I cannot wait for a whole year of Zach Wilson behind Aaron Rodgers, man. Because if a kid can play like this with Aaron Rodgers on the sidelines, imagine what he can do watching a great Hall of Famer like this guy. I really hope all of us get behind Zach Wilson, support him, just like obviously Alan Lazard and Kabi was doing. Tough loss, tough way you can't always play the refs, man. That's the hardest thing. You can't play the refs, but hey, just like the guy said before, the season's not over. It's not over. We can still come back.
No, you're 100% right. Like, the season is not over. You have a very winnable game against Denver, and if Zach plays like he did today against Denver, you got to feel pretty good about that one.
Absolutely, man. What do you, if you were right there on the sidelines and you knew that Zach was listening to all that noise, and after what you've seen, what would be your words of encouragement? What are you hoping is being said to Zach Wilson right now after that game, especially after the fumble situation?
I hope they're saying go out and do that again. Because, like, Robert Saleh had a quote after the game. He's like, if Zach plays that way, every week, we're going to win a lot of games. And he's right. You're going up against a Super Bowl champion, and they hung in there. I was very hard on Zach Wilson this past week. I thought he played terrible against New England, and I thought he looked like someone who had no confidence and should be benched. And he went out there and proved a lot of people wrong. He threw for 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, over 70% completion, probably his best game as a pro. And it's just like, still can't find a way to win. But again, that's a really great Kansas City Chiefs team, and you got to give them a ton of credit. But that's a gut punch, man.
What a primetime game, man. What a primetime game. And at least it came to be a primetime game. A lot of people were expecting a blowout, not expecting the game to even be exciting. I bet the viewer ratings were completely trash in the start. And then when people started seeing like around the half, they were like, what? This is the score now? I was baffled. I was like silent throughout everything. But, hey, here's to hopefully a W coming forward. I hope you have a good rest of your night, man. I can't wait to hear your next up-and-coming videos on the stat lines and all the detailed information, man. And for all of our followers and all of our fans and listeners, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Matt O'Leary. And let's not keep stopping up this train, man. Jets, Jets. Peace.
Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated. Love that energy. Much needed on today. Let's go to Dave. He's up next. Dave, what's going on, man? You're muted. Can you unmute your mic? There you go.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
How's it going, Dave?
All right, just literally getting home. I didn't think you'd throw me on so quick. I just want to say that third down shit was bullshit. Both of them, actually. One of them, they were holding one of our guys. I can't remember. I was at a bar and this Chiefs fan was just haggling the whole time, and I would really want to shut his ass up, dude. That was really disappointing. Also, I've been watching you for a while, man. Great show. First time to see you. Thank you for what you do, Matt. You're a real G. You're a real important figure in our YouTube Jets community, and I want to acknowledge that for you.
Thank you.
I got this mural right here. I just got home. Check this out.
Let's see. What do we got? Oh, look at that. I love it. Looks good. I like the mask too.
Yeah, and basically, man, like I just want to say, love your show, and those 2 3rd and 20s. I mean, that killed me, man. That was just unbelievable, man. It really pisses me off. As far as Zach, like, we've seen a lot of growth. I felt really bad for him that he fumbled that. That sucks. I mean, I'm supporting the kid, but I just hope. What I'm worried about is I hope we don't see the old Zach again. You know what I'm saying? I hope this isn't just a one-time. Okay, he played well, and then all of a sudden he turns back to the Zach we saw last week with New England. That's my concern. So hopefully he can keep it up and he can learn. And I know we're rallying behind him, and I know that he has a lot of potential. If he could be that BYU guy. And the guy we saw tonight, minus the mistake or whatever, we showed a lot of heart tonight. We showed a lot of grit, and I think it's kind of bittersweet. If we could have completed that win. You know, just a week ago, just a couple of days ago, I was saying tank for Caleb. I'm a USC guy. I went to SC,
Okay.
and you know how Jets fans are. You know, last week I was pissed. Now I'm like kind of happy. So every week, it's an emotional roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Dave, I appreciate you checking in with us.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, and thanks for
Take
the
care,
kind
buddy.
words. All right, thank you out to Dave. Yeah, really just tough one. That's a tough L to swallow, especially because again, I thought Zach Wilson played really well in this one. Zach's at the podium. They are asking him questions about building off tonight's performance. They need another performance like that against Denver. I mean, Justin Fields is someone who really, really struggled most of this season. Hasn't looked good in year 3 and had, for the first 3 quarters of that game, a stellar performance against the Denver Broncos. They gave up a 70 spot to Miami. And I'm not saying the Jets offense is anywhere close to Miami Dolphins, but there is absolutely zero excuse, whether it's Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, whoever the hell is starting at quarterback for the New York Jets this upcoming week against the Denver Broncos. The excuse goes out the window. You have to find a way to win this game. I know it's a little bit of a moral victory with the win again, or I guess not the win, but the cover against the Kansas City Chiefs, keeping it a tight game, a 23-20 game. Nobody expected it to be that close. Everyone is picking the Jets to get blown out. Everyone is picking, myself included, Zach Wilson to have a tough performance tonight. And that really wasn't the case. Again, I thought Zach Wilson played a really good game. It's an absolute shame that's how this one ended. I don't blame the defense. I think if you hold Patrick Mahomes to 23 points, you're doing a pretty damn good job. You're giving your team a chance to win. I hate to be the guy who says, oh my God, the referee's this or the referee's that, but you're getting the ball back down 3. You would have a chance. And, maybe it's a different storyline. We're on here talking about something completely different if they get that opportunity back. And they're talking about, again, maybe a comeback win, maybe a tie. Maybe they're in overtime right now. We have no idea. I hate to play the what if game, but again, it's a frustrating one. It's a really frustrating one. We'll get into some of your comments as well. You could send in any super chats. I'll jump in front. Let me get the banner cooking on here as well. I appreciate it. I know I'm not in my normal setup, but making the most of this and wanted to do a post-game reaction piece to this. It's time to react to this as Jeff fans. But Expanse says, hi Matt, can I call in? Yeah, let me drop. I'm trying to pin it, but I can't. I'm working on my laptop. I'm gonna post the link again. The call-in link is coming in right now. It's a link to StreamYard, so you guys can hop in on here. I appreciate the super chat, Expand. I wish I could pin comments right here from StreamYard, but I don't believe that I can. No, that's annoying. But yeah, you guys can call in. I just dropped the link in there, but it's tough to be in that game until the very end. You're down 17-0. You fight your way back. You only give up 6 points after going down. You outscore them 20-6 after going down 17-0, and that's it. There's a couple of missed opportunities. Jordan Whitehead, a few missed tackles, a dropped interception from CJ Mosley. The fumble. It's tough, man. Let's go out to my man, Jet Boyer. Jet Boyer, my dude. What's going on, Ty?
Dude, what is up, Matty boy? Man, you hate to see this one, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if y'all have just jumping in. I don't know if y'all have talked about it yet, but Zach setting a career mark that, some of the guys, JetCast, some of the other content creators in our community been talking about this being one of Zach's best game. This by the numbers was Zach's best game. 105.2 QBR rating, over 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 28 for 39. That's what you want to see.
100%. They let him loose, right? We were asking for this. Like, if you're going to go down, right? Like this, a lot of people were thinking maybe this is Zach's last start, go down swinging, and they had him come out throwing the football, and he was gutsy tonight. Yeah.
I mean, you saw year 1 Tennessee Titans Zach. That touchdown throw, I don't know if you saw, you remember it on, I guess it was the second quarter, the one to Lazard.
Mm-hmm.
He rolled out the right. That looked like the exact same play.
Yeah, it did.
And it's, to me, again, and you know how we've talked about this before, me and you, how I feel about LaFleur and the issues that he brought. This to me was what a good OC does, and they adapt to your player. You look at what worked when he was good and when he was actually giving you a chance, and you implement things that are similar. And there was a lot of that tonight that I saw. He let Zach sling the ball, let Zach have fun, but at the same time, make him check it down. And he did. And the last thing tonight that I noticed, Matt, that I want to see more of is we finally got to see a little bit of Jeremy Ruckert.
Yeah, about that nice catch down on the right side of the sideline there in a big spot. This is a guy he's due some playing time. He had a nice training camp. He's been, blocking really well and comes up with a huge catch. I love it. I'm all in on Jeremy Ruckert.
Yeah, guys, keep hope alive. I think that although this is a loss, I know that we don't want to be looking at moral victories. This was a big game. Notice that the 2 primetime games now, no one thought that we were going to have a shot at. You won one of them, and then you almost won the other against the defending champs. That's a big game. That's big football players that show up for big games. Let's go Jets.
I love it. I appreciate the call in as always. Make sure everyone in the chat follow my guy Jet Boyer at Athletically Declined. Great content over there. Good stuff. Let's go out to Chris. He's up next. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Matt? First, I just want to say thank you for everything you do. I've been watching you for a pretty long time now, and your news is just always accurate. Your predictions are always on point. So you're just an awesome, true diehard fan, and I appreciate that. Let's talk about the game a little bit. Sucks. We got robbed, hands down, no questions asked. Yeah, Zach fumbled the football. That really sucks. It happens though. Every single quarterback in existence has fumbled a ball off a bad snap. And yes, it was still a catchable snap, but it happens. Point is that the ref called that hold call on Sauce nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It wasn't a hold. You gotta let that play out. I mean, they've been letting it all game. What happened? The ref sided with the Chiefs. Cool. I just want to say to everybody in the fan base, let's get behind Zach, man. I mean, let's give the kid props. I mean, he played his heart out. He really did. Everybody's been saying it all night. I mean, this is hands down a career game.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's even a question that this is, Zach's best game. And, it just thinks they were right there. They had an opportunity to steal an upset in a game that nobody gave them a chance in. And I don't know, it just feels like it's taken away from you after a really brutal call on an alleged Sauce Gardner holding that I don't think was there, especially because Jermaine Johnson it was very obviously that he was being held on that play too.
Right. For days. I mean, ridiculous, but, we don't want to take moral victories, right? Moral victories don't account for, official record at the end of the day, but recognize this, ladies and gentlemen, we played against a Super Bowl team, a multi-Super Bowl team, and we held it down to the wire. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, no, you're right, Chris, and I appreciate you checking in with us here, but tough pill to swallow tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you, Matt. Appreciate everything you do, brother. Keep on going. Go.
Thank you. Love it. Thank you, Chris. Good stuff. Yeah, it's again, like I said, it's a real tough one to swallow in that performance. Zach Wilson went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. Would not have thought that in a million years, and I think you have to give him a ton of credit. They were down 17-0. I thought the defense held strong after that, created turnovers, something that, everyone's begging the Jets defense, right? You got to create turnovers. They won the turnover battle. They won. They had 2 turnovers versus 1, and that wasn't enough, unfortunately. Kansas City is a fantastic football team, but Jets showed heart. They could have rolled over and died when they were down 17-0. I thought, here we go. All right, another primetime embarrassing performance from this Jets team. They're going to go out, they'll lose 33-6, and that's it. We'll just call it. We'll pack it in, call it. Your first time in primetime in 11 years, and that's going to be the game. But they came out of the half. It went down and scored a touchdown. They tied it up. Zach Wilson ran in for the 2-point conversion. And it was a gutsy play. It was a really gutsy play. But, just again, unfortunately, just not enough there. We'll get into your comments as well. I'll pop some of these on the screen again. If you send in a super chat, that is going to go first. That it ensures that you get in. I'll post the link to call in another time. Again, I wish I could pin this, but unfortunately, I'm working off my laptop here as I have these disgusting Patriots logos behind me. But again, we're making the most of this post game in what is a surprising 23-20 loss. Adam says they need to do better on third downs. Yeah, I mean, getting off the field on third downs is obviously is key. When Jermaine Johnson's getting held and you're getting phantom calls, that makes it a little bit harder. And Patrick Mahomes is just so good. You can only contain Pat Mahomes for so long, and keeping him to 23 points feels like a win. I know that it's not. At the end of the day, it didn't translate into a win, but if you're able to, be in that game, in a game where you're 8.5-point underdogs, 9.5-point underdogs for most of the week, and you're right in there to the final minute, that feels like a win. All right, let's go to Austin. He wants to call in. What's going on, Austin?
What's up, Matt? Big fan.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that although I love Jermaine Johnson, I love Will McDonald, I love all these edge rushers that we got, young, talented guys, but at the end of the day, Bryce Huff is the only guy consistently getting pressure on the outside. And I hate to say that, although Jermaine Johnson was getting held all game, which I was obviously complaining about, but at the end of the day, he really didn't get any pressure. It sucks to say that first-round pick last year, who's now getting the opportunity to play, really he's not really taking advantage of his time.
Yeah, it's tough. And, there's a couple tough moments for him. It felt like he was getting held a few different times, too, in this game. But you'd like for a guy like Jermaine Johnson to make a big impact. I totally get that.
And Will McDonald is horrible in the run game in the limited time I saw.
Yeah, Will McDonald's another one. Again, he was active this week after being inactive in week 2, but yeah, they gotta get him going. I'm totally with you there, Austin. That's tough one to swallow.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Let's get a couple super chats in here quick, then we'll get back to your calls momentarily. John says such BS from NBC with the Swift nonsense media clown Zach all week in pregame, and he outplayed Mahomes no matter what. He deserves his props. Yeah, throughout the entire game, Tirico and Chris Collinsworth did everything in their power to continue to throw Zach Wilson right under the bus and just be like, oh, the Jets, a terrible start, this and that, and loving Patrick Mahomes. And look, at the end of the day, I guess the Chiefs won, so maybe it all worked out for them at the end. But I thought this Jets team showed a lot of heart, and specifically Zach Wilson as well. So that's a good call from John. And then Brian chimes in and says Quincy playing above his contract price. Yeah, Quincy Williams is someone who, I've been a little hard on him. I thought, early in his career with the Jets, missed tackles were a little bit of a problem, but he's flying around the field. He's making a ton of plays, and it's hard not to love what you've seen from Quincy Williams so far this year. Let's go. Felipe is up next. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. Can you listen to me? I'm speaking from Brazil. I think I'm the first one here. So
I love it. Thank you for
nice talking
it.
to you guys. It's just saying something. It's pretty cool the work you guys do, because here in Brazil we don't have lots of Jets fans. So you guys are my community in a way. You are the guys that I would talk about a game. I would talk about something, and it's pretty cool. Pretty nice being talking to you.
I love it, man. I appreciate you checking in with us, and it's awesome that you have a little bit of a community there, in Brazil, and be able to hang out with us. That's awesome.
Yeah, I will sometime. As of tonight, I did not expect a game so close, especially after the first 17 points. I thought that this is done, and this is just heartbreaking. And in the end, it was heartbreaking for different reasons. But I think Zach proved today that he has the heart. I'm not sure if he's the guy. I'm not sure if he wants Zach here for a couple more years, but he has the heart. He played his mind off tonight, by the way, and I think he did a great job tonight. I think we have silver linings now. We have something to look forward to.
Felipe, I agree with you. I think Zach Wilson got a lot of pushback this week, and I think deservedly so. He didn't play well against New England. It's been a tough couple of games for him, but again, he played arguably his best game as a Jet tonight. So I think we got to give him a lot of credit. I think you're spot on.
For sure, I think he earned it.
Absolutely, Felipe. I appreciate you calling in, man.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Love it. Good stuff. Let's pull up this super chat. Stop shoving Taylor Swift down our throats, NFL. Yeah, how many times did they go to Taylor Swift up there in the booth? It was like 50 times. It felt like they kept going to Taylor Swift out there. It was, again, a tough one. It wasn't quite that, the Jets are getting their doors blown off. Travis Kelce has a million catches for a bunch of yards and a touchdown, but still, it's tough when you're in this game fighting for your fighting. Feels like you're fighting for your life as a fan, right? You're just sitting there watching this one, expecting something to happen. And, they flash Taylor Swift on the screen with Mama Kelce or whatever celebrity. Man, I don't want to see that stuff. I really don't. We got another super chat in here. Ryan chimes in. Ryan, I appreciate you. He says, if this is the way the team plays for the rest of the years, the Jets will make up for this in January, February. They played a really tough game. They showed a lot of fight and a lot of heart in this game. I think they absolutely have a good chance to win against the Denver Broncos. I know it's on the road. I know, the Jets play different on the road than they do at home. That's totally fair to point out. Denver had a nice comeback win this week, but there is absolutely zero excuse, whether it's Zach Wilson, whether it's whoever they start at quarterback, right? Like, we could have this debate all day long of who should start at quarterback. Should not matter this upcoming week. If the Jets can find a way to get to their bye week at 2-4, they can still salvage their season. As crazy as that might sound, right? Like it might seem like, there's really not, a good chance for this Jets team, in order to win this game, or do whatever. But, I still think that if you're able to get there at, somewhere at the 2-4 mark, I think you'd be in a pretty good spot, honestly. It's still frustrating though, man. It's really, really tough for this one. As Charles chimes in and he asks, how do you feel going into the Broncos game? I feel a little bit more comfortable after the performance that we got from Zach Wilson tonight. And I get Denver had this crazy comeback win today against arguably the worst team in the NFL, in the Chicago Bears. But this is a gut punch. Again, like, I know that they weren't supposed to have a shot. I get that there's so many different storylines with this team of, they're supposed to lose this game. It's a silver lining and it's a moral victory. And I do feel some of those things. And maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and have a different feeling. But in the moment, it's really hard not to be frustrated with how this one turned out. I thought the Jets played their heart out, but unfortunately just wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough in this one. Kyler says Jets are not beating the Broncos. Got one lucky win against the Bills. Kyler, eat a fat one. This is another one. Where are these? I'd love for Sauce to be great. Right now, he's just good. We need quarterbacks to pick off passes. I don't know how we're getting on Sauce Gardner right now. He had the drop against the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. He was fine tonight. He's absolutely fine tonight. I don't see that as a problem. I really don't. Another one saying that Huff is an absolute must keep. I agree with you. I think Bryce Huff not only is a must keep, but he is someone who absolutely deserves more playing time in this game. I don't know how he's not getting more playing time out there on the field. I'm going to drop the call-in line again in the chat in here. Tyler sends in a super chat of $2. I don't see a comment associated with it. Oh, right underneath. Excuse me. I'll pop this up. The commentator says they didn't prepare enough material for this to actually be a good game. They were focused on Swift. They never mentioned how egregious the hold on JJ was, grossed over the bad call. Yeah, it's just, I'm with you. Again, it's just, I don't know how you miss that Jermaine Johnson obvious hold. It should have been ones that were canceled out. Like, they should just let him play. I don't know, man. Let's go to Connor. He just called in. Connor, what's going on, dude?
Yo. So I'm joining a little bit late. I see a lot of Patriot stuff in your background. Just gonna notate that real quick. What's up with that, man?
Yeah. So on the pregame show, I did a stream. I'm at my producer's house, who happens to be a Patriots fan. So we had a good laugh at him in the 4:00 slate. He was nice enough to let me use his mini studio in here, but I had to blur the background because I don't want that shit on my stream.
100%. So my biggest question is nobody's talking about the no call on JJ on that 3rd and 22 where Pat Mahomes scrambled for 25 yards.
Yep.
He was held for 15 seconds. It was egregious.
I don't know how that was missed, right? It seemed obvious there.
It wasn't missed. It was blatantly no called. The ref was staring at it. You could see it in the video.
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you. We were all watching that one and watching an obvious hold. That just, as you said, a blatant no call. Why? I don't know, but just a blatant no call.
That would have given us the ball back with 6 minutes to go. And they would have punted from the 39-yard line. And we would have had the ball to drive down, 6 minutes to go with 3 timeouts. You can't tell me that we would not have won that game.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that with how good Zach Wilson was playing, he actually had confidence in the offense and going down and getting points there?
Dude, I have a buddy that's a Chiefs fan. And he was saying, no, the refs didn't bail you out. The refs didn't bail us out, yada, yada, yada. And I said, dude, you're so full of shit. And he's my analyst at work, and I'm going to have a long couple days at work. I'm so pissed off right now. Screaming at the TV. I'm bent out of shape, but Zach Wilson proved that he can play. I just think they needed to open the playbook.
Yeah, it seemed that way. It absolutely did. That they opened it up, they had him throw, and he was up for the test. I think we got to give him a lot of credit for tonight. I thought he was good.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Matt, thanks for taking my call. I just needed to vent to somebody. I'm so fucking pissed off right now. It's not even funny.
Dude, I get it, Connor. Thank you so much for calling in, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, bro.
Good stuff. Ryan chimes in and says the Zerline missed field goal at the end of the second half the second quarter really stings. It does. It was a long field goal attempt that hit the upright. I was screaming go for it, and I still kind of feel like they probably should have went for it in that spot. I think that was an opportunity for them to pick up some more yardage and either one, make it a little bit of an easier kick if they do end up settling for a field goal before the half, or maybe continue a drive and score a touchdown. But you don't beat Kansas City for settling for 3. And that was the time I wish they got a little bit more aggressive. Brandon chimes in and says, one of the refs literally looked bummed to call on the Chiefs a few plays before that BS holding call. Is this our punishment for Super Bowl 3? I don't know. I don't know what we did to deserve anything like this. Absolutely despicable that something like this continues to happen for us. Like, again, just no good things are allowed. 4 plays of Aaron Rodgers, BS holding calls, phantom holding calls against the Kansas City Chiefs, defending champions in a game that nobody gives you a shot to win. Nobody gave the Jets a chance to win, myself included. Hand up. I was obviously wrong about this game. I thought the Jets were going to get blown out. And they hang tough. And, but guess what? You still get screwed in the end. Brandon, it's unbelievable. It absolutely is absolutely unbelievable. Landon chimes in and says, I understood Salah kicking the field goal before the half, considering you get the ball coming out. I guess that is fair because you do start with the ball. You're right. That's a long field goal attempt. And I would have loved the aggressiveness in that spot. Honestly, I really would have. Ryan chimes in and says 100% agree with going for that on 4th and 1. I was screaming for a fake at work. Yeah. Again, just a really frustrating one today. Really, really frustrating one. We also get Ryan says, I liked Xavier Gibson getting some rushes. Mecole should be splitting with Cobb, even though Cobb played decent. Also, Ruckert should be out there more than he is. I liked what I saw from Hack. Yeah, I thought Nathaniel Hackett, again, someone else who got significant criticism through the first 3 games. I thought Nathaniel Hackett was good today. I did. Nathaniel Hackett and Zach Wilson, both guys were good. Two guys who've gotten a ton of shit from Jet fans, and again, deservedly so, not taking anything away from anyone who gave them issues or problems from the first 3 weeks of the year. But in this spot against a really great team, I thought they came up with a good game plan. They got over 20 points against a good defense and a good team, a Super Bowl, contending team. Just at the end of the day, unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Jack of all trades says the ref should be banned for football. How is it that we're in the year 2023 and for some reason we still don't have full-time referees? Why is that the case? We still don't have full-time referees. I'm going to drop the call in line again and get a few more calls before we hop out of here. Let's go to Casey. Casey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, Robert Saleh earned my respect after today. Him cussing out the referees, like, I felt his pain because that was the most bull crap call ever. Like, it was so freaking obvious, and for him to get that personal foul call, he earned it. And I think Rich Eisen tweeted out that he should get a fine after the game as well, during the press conference. So, it was frustrating, but I think the Jets earned everyone's respect. Zach Wilson earned everyone's respect today, proving everybody wrong. I mean, obviously most of us aren't the biggest Zach Wilson fans, but he showed out today, and it was pretty awesome. So it wasn't the result we wanted, but it was still, they showed a lot of heart and a lot of fight.
Yeah, I agree with you, Casey. I think they absolutely showed a lot of heart and a lot of fight, and I do think Robert Saleh deserves some credit. And again, a game where people weren't giving the Jets a ton of a big chance to win this game. They were big underdogs going in, and people want Saleh to get a little bit more animated on the sideline, going at the refs on these bad calls, and he did. Like you pointed out, that was a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in with that. So I appreciate it, Matt.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for calling in, Casey.
All right, bye.
Good stuff. All right, I got time for a few more comments in here before we hop on out. We've been live for about 48 minutes. It's a late night. I still got to drive home. I'm like an hour away from my house right now, so it's going to be a late night for me. I don't think I'm going to get much sleep, unfortunately. Adonis says, I was hoping for a birthday dub, but I told myself Zach going to have a coming out party. I defended him last week. Glad he showed growth. Adonis, happy birthday. I'm sorry the Jets did not get the win for your birthday. I wish they did. That would have been epic. And you're right. Zach Wilson played really well tonight. Good stuff. I didn't think he would have a performance like that, but he played well. He had him in a shot to win the game. Ryan says, I really liked what I saw from Sal on the sideline fighting for his team, earns his team's respect, and it reminds me of Boone yelling at the ump. Yeah, I mean, I know you're comparing, obviously, baseball to football, but Aaron Boone, has his players' backs. He goes after the umpires when they make mistakes, and Robert Saleh went after the referees after they made a mistake with Sauce Gardner. As simple as that. And, this is a game where it felt like the locker room was going to start to spiral, but they didn't, at least not for tonight. They didn't spiral. We got another one. Take your anger out on Denver. Absolutely. I definitely hope that they take their anger out on the Denver Broncos. So there we go. A 23-20 loss. A really tough loss tonight. They showed some fight. They played tough, but it wasn't enough at the end of the day. A couple missed opportunities, a couple missed calls, and you can't overcome that against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. You're 1-3. You got to find a way to beat the Denver Broncos next week on the road in Denver and try to get this thing back in gear. But I appreciate you guys joining me on this post-game reaction. Back to regular coverage throughout the week. I'll break down Zach Wilson's performance in a little bit more detail tomorrow. I appreciate you guys checking in. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time. Go Jets.